equipment cupboard and tried to stop her thoughts being pulled down into the dark past. She had clung to hope for a long time, and maybe it was time to accept her brother was not coming back. Maybe her mother was right. Maybe she shouldn't have come back to the territory. She shook her head. Her happy mood had evaporated. She'd come back to the school tomorrow and finish her inventory. She closed the cupboard, resting her head against the doors. "Where are you, Ethan?" she whispered.
"Who are you?"
Gemma jumped at the gruff voice and turned to see a woman with tightly permed grey hair framing an unfriendly face furrowed with deep wrinkles. "I'm the new Year 2 teacher, Gemma Hayden." She crossed the room to stand beside the newcomer and tried not to wrinkle her nose at the strong smell of smoke emanating from her clothes. "Can I help you?" The woman nodded and looked her up and down, unsmiling.
"You're a bit early for term, aren't you? I'm Pat Turner, the head cleaner. I don't let the teachers come in this week. How did you get that key?"
"She doesn't let them?" Gemma raised her eyebrows and stared back. "Jeff gave it to me, the principal, along with his permission to come in this week." As soon as she'd justified her presence in the school, she was angry with herself that she'd found it necessary.
"I know who Jeff Thompson is."
"I imagine you do." Gemma couldn't help the coolness in her voice. If there was one thing she wouldn't tolerate, it was bullying, and this woman was trying it on. "So, are you going now?" Even though Gemma had been about to leave, there was no way this woman was going to harass her out of her own classroom. "No, I have a few more things to do. I'll be here a while yet." Pat folded her arms and sat on the edge of one of the low tables.
"I'll wait here until you're done. We're going to polish the floors in these rooms this afternoon. There's a mess of paint on the floor in the wet room. I hope you've got more control over the kids than the last one."
"There's no need for you to wait." The pursing of the woman's mouth reminded Gemma of her mother, and that made her all the more determined not to be bullied. The days of being cajoled into doing what everyone else wanted were long gone. She held her gaze steady. "I'll let you know when I'm finished." The woman shook her head.
"Jeff had no right to give you a key. You don't officially start until Monday."
Great start to my time at Trafina. Then common sense kicked in. There was no point in pushing the issue. If there was one thing Gemma had learned about the politics of schools over the past 3 years, it was the importance of keeping the cleaners on side. "Okay, I'll get out of your way." Gemma forced a smile, keeping her voice sweet. "My preparation will have to wait. It was good to meet you, Pat." The woman's eyes widened as she stood.
"Hang on. Gemma Hayden? Are you related to Ethan Hayden?"
A tremble ran through Gemma, and she lifted her chin. "Why do you ask?"
"He was good mates with my Jed."
For the first time, Pat's face lost its belligerence.
"You're his sister. You look like him. Twins, aren't you?"
"Yes, we are." Gemma's interest quickened. "I didn't know Ethan had a mate called Jed. Did the police talk to him back then?" Pat shook her head.
"I don't know. Jed, the boys called him Screw, had already gone to work on a cattle station in the East Kimberley when I heard Ethan went missing."
"Oh, I remember Screw." Ethan, Screw, and Saul Pearce had been tight from their first day at high school. They used to do everything together, and Gemma had been terribly jealous. They were allowed to go bush, and she hadn't been allowed to tag along. Her dad had allowed Ethan to go because Saul was a couple of years older, but Gemma had long suspected he hadn't wanted his little girl camping in the outback. "How is he?"
"He hung around for a while when you all left school, then took off to Rose Lion."
"Where's Rose Lion?"
"Some bloody huge cattle station near Lake Argyle. You know, that bugger hasn't been home once since he left. That's kids for you."
Pat's tone was friendlier.
"So, you're a local girl, eh? School community'll like that."